Hello everyone, this is Diane. I have completed the two shabby journals that I've been working on. I have a pink one and a blue one. I really loved making these. I had so much fun decorating the covers. The day I did these, it was on the weekend, and I was just playing and just leisurely playing with making these covers, and I really enjoyed it. And I would like to make more, so I will do these on video the next time I make a cover like this. I've had several people express interest in seeing the process of making them. But for now, let's just go through these and see what is in them. I tied them with sari silk. I cut a long length. I doubled it. I did not cut the loop. You could just tie it like I did. You could cut that loop and then tie it like I did, but you just won't have the loop. Or you can take one of your ends and thread it through the loop and wrap this around and get all fancy and tie it. You know, there's lots of ways you can use it because it's a nice long piece. So this is the pink shabby journal. It has book page and paint and stamping and wallpaper on it, vintage wallpaper. And I, on the spine, put this beautiful fabric that I've been hoarding and added some blue rickrack. This green is a smear from the dark green book spine that was originally on it when I put the white paint on the book's cloth. That's what I'm trying to say. The green book cloth right here. It smeared the color, but I like that. It just adds more to the mixed media look of the cover. Let me give you measurements. They're pretty equal. This one is slightly smaller. This one is 5 1/8 by 7 1/2. I added some scrapbook paper to the inside cover. There's some fabric in the spine there and a printable label. I used some wallpaper digitals from tailor-made journals for some of the pages. I'm into wallpapers a lot, so there's real wallpaper on the front and wallpaper digis plus some scraps of wallpaper. I did some stenciling. This is a page from a stamp collector's book, and I just put gesso over it so you can write on the page. Added a little fabric cluster there. And I made a little tuck spot with this pink die cut that I made and added a couple wallpaper die cuts. These are real wallpaper pieces. They're not as vintage as that, but they are vintage. And then I added some of my digital cards that I have a large stash of digital cards that I purchased and printed, and I went through these journals and added some at the end of the journal making process. In fact, just this morning I went through and added those digital cards. This is a pocket made of some layered lace. It has a couple pieces of lace and then a ribbon at the top to stabilize it, and a digital floral piece and 2 digital tickets. And this is coffee dyed index card or file folder, and I sewed a piece of fabric on it. It doesn't match, does it? No. And some sari silk and coffee dyed muslin for a tab. And you can cut this off if you want, but I left the torn edge on. They don't all have the torn edge on all the cards that I made, and if you don't like them, you can cut that even and neaten it up. I did a stamp there, and this is an avocado dyed paper that I had purchased from an Etsy shop. On the back I had fun. I did I think yesterday's video was decorating, part of it was decorating these pages, so I just randomly stamped my large script stamp on there and put some lace and some digital Tim Holtz wildflowers. Not digital, die cut. This is a digital, however. It's an ephemera page, and I'm not sure where it's from. It might be the old design shop. And I just stenciled on the back, did some inking, and there's a scrap of the vintage wallpaper right there. And I printed some of the digital wallpapers onto vellum. So there's a vellum piece in each signature. There's coffee dyed craft glassine. And this is the avocado dyed paper that I edge punched, and then I layered a bunch of circles of different kinds of laces and fabrics and sewed a button. This is vintage ledger paper, and I added this also from my stash. I have a bunch of digital envelopes, so I just inked it, and I love the way it's decoratively edged there on the flap. And I didn't put anything in the envelope, and I just added a pretty paper clip there. And that's the center of the signature. I just glued a stamped piece there. Some more vintage wallpaper. And there's a fabric flip with this gorgeous piece of lace. It's very delicate. I cut it off a bigger piece and added this fabric flip on top with another piece of antique lace. And there's a collage here with a variety of laces and a fabric ruffle and this merchandise tag that I decorated with sari silk and a little ribbon applique and a pink safety pin. I just love these wallpapers. They're so pretty. I will link I'll link Lorna's shop, Tailor Made Journals, and she has a lot of different wallpaper kits. So I'll just link her shop, and you can go shopping through her wallpaper kits, and you get a lot of pages with one kit. There's a fabric cluster there, and another die cut, doily die cut, and I put a stamped piece in the middle that you can journal on, and added a couple small journaling tags that are digitals. Here is another of the file folder tags, and it doesn't have the edge, the rough edge sticking out on this one. It's a pretty feedsack fabric, just gorgeous. And there's cheesecloth here instead of muslin. And this pocket is an interesting textured, I wouldn't call it lace, it was kind of stretchy. I think somebody sent that to me. And I just sewed it to some pink cardstock and then added this gorgeous piece of lace on top. Here's another collage. Another digital piece from the old design shop. And there's the vellum piece, and you can see the ledger behind it. This one has an envelope that someone had sent me. It's from Sweden. This might have been from Karina. Thank you, Karina, if that was you. And if you're watching, you can open it right up and have lots of journaling space. You can journal here, you can journal there, you can glue things on it. That will be fun to play with. Love this piece of vintage wallpaper. There's a stamped sewing machine up there. And here is a fabric flip with a piece of that really pretty rose feedsack fabric. And here's the collage on this page, the lace collage with the merchandise tag. And this one has, well, they all have a pink safety pin, and it has a pretty pink rose applique. This is a velvet ribbon here, and some digitals, some lace sewn to the avocado dyed paper. And there was a barcode here, so I added this piece from a Tim Holtz ephemera collection. And another piece of ephemera. Wallpaper. Love this piece of wallpaper, and I love the way the ledger looks through it. And on this page, the envelope is actually a glassine sack. And I glued this lace trim around it and added a little fussy cut digital and this digital card. And then I just folded the sack around the card and then added 2 paper clips to hold it in place. Here's a stamped piece, some more wallpaper. And this is a sheer sack that I made out of the sheer overlay of a bridal dress that I got at the flea market. It was all cut up. And I added this digital black and white photo of a woman and this digital fussy cut flower, some lace at the top. And then this little tuck spot these are 2 pieces that I cut with my Big Shot, and this has glassine or vellum behind it. And I just added this. This is also from Tailor Made Journals. She has sets of vintage photos, and you get a lot of pictures. She's very generous with her kits. There's another piece of that gorgeous lace, and a couple other pieces of lace behind it, and a merchandise tag, and there's some little sequins glued to that one. And then on the back cover is a pocket, just a little tuck spot that I made out of some leftover scrapbook paper, and I added, this is from my one of my digital sets from my Victorian ephemera, and another little die cut. And this is cut from scrapbook paper, I think, and it's upside down. It says smile, but I put it on upside down. So I'm going to have to do something with that. And then I added these digital cards and my signatures on the back of one of them. Okay, so that's the pink Shabby journal. Now let's look at the blue Shabby journal. I won't have to do so much explanation. I did give a 2-inch spine, which it could have used a bigger spine because it does pop up more than most of my journals do. But a lot of people have more gaping journals than I do, so I think it's fine. That's why I gave it a tie to hold it together. So here's the cover on this one. I love these wallpapers. Just love them. And it's got book page and paint and stamping edged with ink to make that edge look old. I love how that looks. Put this pretty blue fabric on the spine. This is part of this wallpaper. I just tore off a piece that just had blue on it. And it has the same blue rickrack that the other one does. There's a printable, I think this was from Porch Swing Design, I'm not sure. I've had it in my stash for a while. She has a page of different book plates. So again, this is a wallpaper printable. And there is one of the die cut tuck spots. It's got vellum behind it to protect the delicate cut work there, and I added a digital postcard. You've got some lace and some digitals. Well, this is a digital, this is cut from scrapbook paper, and this is a stamp that I cut out. I used a different background stamp. Instead of the script, I used the crackle stamp that I have. This is a piece of ephemera, digital ephemera, and some wallpaper. And instead of the avocado dyed border punch strip, I had these gold and white pieces that I used in this journal, along with my layered circles. This one, I wanted to use this piece of lace, but it didn't quite wrap all the way around, so I added this piece of another lace to the back of it, and you can see it has a journaling card inside. It has a little scrap of wallpaper on that little flap. Here's the little bridal fabric sack with a an image from Tailor Made Journals again. This one has some sequins on it. This tuck spot is actually, I actually made it a pocket, and it is a die cut from my Big Shot, and it's made with a Polaroid die, and it was a cream color, and I just put some brown ink on it. This was a cream colored die cut also, and I rubbed some blue ink over it, and then added that little piece of wallpaper. And then this image, I'm not sure where that came from, but she's adorable and she's perfect in there. Here we have some pleated lace with some other lace added to it and some digitals. This little girl is from one of my Victorian ephemera digital kits. This one again has the rough edge. Wallpaper. Here's one of those Swedish envelopes that opens right up into a letter that you can write on. Wallpaper there. It's a beautiful upholstery fabric here, kind of satiny, but where I cut it, I had to cut through the embroidery, and I wasn't sure if it would come loose, so I stitched all the way around it to hold all of that in place. And this is stamped on muslin. This is paper that I coffee dyed with a plastic doily on it. I set it out in the sun. Quite a few pieces of lace on this collage. Oh, actually, this is a snippet. I cut that from my snippet roll. It had a piece of blue in it. So it does have a lot of different pieces of lace. And again, this is another die cut that I colored with ink. The lace and the blue against blue just makes for a very subtle collage there. Some vintage wallpaper. This gorgeous wallpaper digital. And here's another envelope digital that I had in my stash. This one is TLC Creates Vintage. That might have been one of the freebies that she gave if you were in her group. and another tuck spot made with a die cut with vellum behind it. So I just cut the die cut to the shape I wanted it, and then glued it to vellum and then trimmed around it. Trimmed the vellum away. Added a couple digitals. This one is a very wide collage, so I didn't leave you much space for writing here. But there's plenty of other room for writing. And another pocket on the back made with a scrap of cardstock, and this is from one of my digitals, and a couple of, this is a die cut and another digital. This one has my, oops, I gotta sign it, and this little card that I folded, and you can write on that. So we have blue Shabby journal and pink Shabby journal. I hope you love these as much as I do, and I hope they find themselves a very good home. And if not, I won't be sad because I'll keep them. But I think somebody out there will want to bring them home. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back again. My next journal will probably be the Swan journals, and I'll talk a little bit more about them in the next video. Thanks for watching. Have a creative day. Bye-bye.